Welcome back, everybody. It's more Ben the Human playing Vagrus, the Riven Realms. We picked up a scholar of sorts. I actually don't know what Levantius's job is, but we're taking him to Lumen one way or the other. But before we leave, I want to stop in and talk to the Constant Sculptor, see if we can't see what that's about. See if we can't pick up some art maybe to try and wheel and deal later. There's a curious shop one street off the market. Beneath the shadow of its awning, a variety of strange sculptures, both small and large, stand on display. The statues depict various creatures, mostly sentient beings of the Riven realms. The only thing they have in common is that they all appear to be unfinished to some degree, that their faces seem to express some kind of reverential longing. Or is it pain? From inside the shop you hear the sound of hammering and chiseling. Let's enter the store. What? It's a skeleton man! What? You enter a spacious venue stuffed to the walls with sculptures, crafting materials, and all kinds of tools. In the far end you see an archway opening to a huge inner yard, also filled with statues and large slabs of raw stone. In a corner an enormous figure stands hunched over a workbench, busily chipping away at something with a chisel. Upon hearing you enter it turns around, revealing a sight you are not prepared for. Greetings, I'm Thotmus, the proprietor of this store. How may I serve you? He or it says, with a voice reminiscent of two slabs of coarse stone grinding against each other. Thotmus looks almost like a statue himself, but only almost. His limbs and torso appear to be made of crude clay, except for his hands that are those of a bone-fingered skeleton. His head is a yellow skull with an eerie glow in the eye sockets, and his chest is open, revealing a frail ribcage within the clay hull. All in all, it looks like someone started to encase a human skeleton inside a constantly damp clay golem of sorts, but has not quite finished the job. Look around the store and decide what to do. Thotmus is standing at his workbench, listening to you intently. Ask him who he is. As I said, my name is Thotmus, the creature replies. As you can see, I'm a sculptor. I assume you also couldn't help notice that I am undead, at least for the time being. Undead? You don't say. Indeed, undead, the expressionless skull on top of the body clay nods. Or are you accustomed to talking skeletons? Of course, such a sight shouldn't come as a surprise. A lot of the dead have gained sentience since the rise of the triumvirate. I do not know how I came to be this way, nor who I was before, or how long I have been dead. All I know is that I awoke 13 years ago in the middle of the wasteland, trapped inside this frail body of brittle bones, remembering almost nothing from before but my knack for sculpture. Inquire about the golem body, ask why all his sculptures are half finished, you would rather trade. Let's ask him about his golem body. The teeth of the skull clank together. Is that supposed to be laughter? Well, as you can see, my clod isn't exactly what you could call enduring, nor endearing. Given my apparent talent for sculpture, I set myself the task to create a more robust body made out of clay imbued with magic. He shakes his skull. Alas, the work is rather tedious and expensive, thus I haven't finished it yet. I hope to finance my progress by selling my work, but then again, for that I have to leave my hands skeletal for a while more, as adapting to clay hands would certainly hinder my sculpting. And of course, after the crude shape of my whole body is done, there will remain a long list of enhancements to be completed. Ask about his undeath, ask why all his sculptures are half finished. Sculpting a whole new body for oneself sounds rather intriguing. Ask Thotmus to tell you a bit more about this process. Let's do business, that's why we're here. Of course. The skeleton jaws utter, mocking the movement of living mouths, quite unnecessarily. The voice seems to come from somewhere inside the body. Everything you see here around is for sale. Take your time to browse at your leisure. I'm also interested in buying statues off you, should you have any for sale. Do we have anything to sell? Zellenbrand? No, we have none of these things. Do other business. Okay, let's buy a sculpture. There are quite a few rarities and even statues or carvings imbued with magic here. Thotmus is more than willing to explain what they represent and even what they could be used for. Ask Thotmus about the glowing crystal statuette on display, or ask Thotmus about the exquisite wood carving on display. We'll ask about both. They could be useful or valuable. The piece of wood is carved in the form of a humanoid with several arms. It looks twisted and somehow alive, partly due to the texture of the wood and also because of the sculptor's skill. Are the small roots hanging from the statuette carved or grown? I made that myself after I bought that strange wood from a curious-looking man. I swear he looked half plant, half human to me. That got me thinking about half-breeds. Am I half-breed? Half living, half dead? Half clay, half bone? Heh! Mind me not, please. I tend to go off on tangents. When you ask Thotmus about the properties of the statuette, he says he doesn't feel anything when holding it, but the plant man swore the material could heal wounds if the little roots are allowed to latch onto skin. That sounds dangerous. Interesting. And let's ask about the crystal statuette. Oh, that, Thotmus shifts on his chair. A woman came to visit this shop years ago. A woman from the heavens. Don't laugh. She was a realms walker. Someone who walks the outer realms and other strange dimensions. This woman, this seeker and seller of artifacts, said she found the crystal statue in a city called... He seems to concentrate for a few moments. Kellador? Kellavron? Kellanon. Yes, Kellanon. I know nothing about it, but whoever carved the statue was very, very good. It is true that even an uninitiated eye can pick up the vastness of detail, the delicate form, and the clean technique. The idol appears to be a humanoid being with 2 pairs of wings on its back, one larger and one smaller pair. A white inner light glows from the relic. Unfortunately, Thotmus knows little about its properties except that it might require real mage to tap into it. Interesting. Can we not buy them? Do some other business? Buy a sculpture? He just wants to tell me about them? Okay. I wanted to buy the sculptures and maybe it's because we don't have enough money. He might just be like, nah, you're too poor, bro. Let's quick explore the city before we go. It appears to be an ordinary day as you roam the mining settlement of Arcane with a few of your trusted companions and a handful of crew members. A light wind blows from the east, carrying some of the ever-present dust, and all around you can hear the cacophony of diligent labor. There's quite a crowd on the streets, mostly local workers and merchants wearing masks and turbans. Let's look around and see what's going on. At the marketplace, business is as usual, except for a stand with several samples of prospected stone at display. There, the vendor and a customer are engaged in a loud argument. As far as you can tell, it regards the price and the quality of the wares. Stay and listen to their feud. The quarrel of strangers do not concern you. No, I'm interested. Let's hear what's going on. You stop and listen. Soon it is evident that the vendor, a local fellow, and the customer, a traveling merchant dressed in rather rich garbs, are indeed in disagreement about the worth of the displayed pieces of marble. The foreign trader thinks they are of poor and brittle quality, and thus isn't willing to pay the full price, while the seller insists his wares represent almost the finest quality you can acquire in Arcane. They become aware of you watching them. Hey there! The customer calls out to you. Something tells me you have an eye for such things. Would you take a look at these samples and give us your opinion? How do you know that? I'm just a guy. I do really like the idea of just being, like, having no clue but trying to fake my way through it. So let's try to evaluate the stones. Oh no. You turn the samples around in your hands, and you hem and haw, but after a while it is apparent to both the vendor and the customer that you have no idea what to look for. They wave dismissively. That was a waste of time. This one couldn't tell a piece of marble from a turd. Wait, now, I definitely could, probably. Hold your tongue, sir. With that, they pay you no further attention and continue their bickering. Well, darn. Let's return to the Comitatus. We do still have some movement left. What are we doing? 9 days? How far are we out from Lumen here? We gotta go to Levantius to here. Well, he's going to Lumen. 4 to 5 days. We got plenty of supplies to go. I'm curious. Because marble is so common here, you'd think the price would be low, right? Obsidian is in demand here. Pottery is in demand here. But nothing else. I'm gonna be bold. No? Oh, maybe we don't have enough money. Max? The max we could do was 5, and that would be most of our money. Oh, we already got kind of bigger than our britches by buying the what's it called? Beast of Burden. I feel like we're pushing our luck if we try to, if we like sight unseen buy marble to take to a town we have no idea if they want it or not. Procure goods for. We should look here though. Maybe. Well, these guys are going back to Torzig's shelter. They want us to procure goods. These guys are going to Lumen, and we could take it upon us. We should, really, right? Take 16 marble to Lumen? It only makes sense, right? Because we're already going to Lumen. We have to take our other stuff to Lumen. What is it? The ivory. We have Levantius, the guy. I keep forgetting people's names. He needs to go to Lumen. Let's take the Loaders Guild's marble to Lumen. It only makes sense. We have the capacity for it. Cool. We're pretty much loaded. Got 9 days of goods. Might as well leave. Okay, cool. Now, the thing is, I think we want to go as due west as we possibly can, but I don't think we should run into the mountains. That seems like a fool's errand. So let's go south, and then we'll circle around and head west. And then maybe up through the gap between these crystals. For some reason, the mountains and the crystals seem bad news to me. But we're gonna call that our plan here. Let's check our. Do we have enough? Ah, we're 3 short to upgrade one of our guys. Alas, we have no movement. So let's. Our obedience is through the roof because we scared all of our people. So let's just end the day. And then continue onward. Oh shoot, you know what? I forgot to pick up more scouts. Or at least one more scout. The crew grumbles. We gotta remember to pay them at some point. We could pay them now. And honestly, we probably should if they're getting cranky about it. Everything else is doing good. Our vigor is great. How did that happen? Cool. I'm not sure. But let's end the day. Got 9 movement because our vigor is high and our morale is high, so that's awesome. Go 6 here. And then we'll rest. And then let's send our people out. We got plenty of movement to do so. We'll send them out. Not a great chance. It's about a quarter chance to succeed, but not a terrible chance to crit fail, so might as well. Fail. Only got 2, but nobody got harmed, so it's not really... No harm, no foul, really. 7 more. And then we kind of just want to head due west still. Oh, Lumen's right there. Am I blind? Like, I thought it was further away for some reason. It's right at the outskirts of all the crystals. We send our people out again. Higher chance to succeed today, so that's good. End the day. Still fail. Didn't get a lot of stuff. But now we can move our full movement, and then we'll reach Lumen tomorrow, which is awesome. Rest. We won't send anybody out. And then we have reached the city, which is awesome. I forgot to use my ability again, or maybe it just regenerated, or maybe that's wishful thinking. But I'm gonna say it just regenerated, so we haven't been inefficient at all. We got 1 insight for discovering Lumen. That's awesome. That means we can upgrade one of our dudes. But let's enter the city. Wow, these pictures are so cool. I wonder if they're artist made or if they're AI generated. That's kind of an insult if it is artist made. They're very cool. I like them a lot. We've made it to Lumen. So those persistent enough to travel towards the blinding light and scorching heat of the South Colaris eventually reach the town of Lumen and glimpse its sandstone buildings protected by its shielding wall. Yet most of the settlement was built under the sands, sheltered from the lethal temperatures and unbearable shine of the surface. At night, brigades of prospectors flood the still searing crystal forest to get their hands on as rich a bounty as they can, hauling it back to Lumen's bustling underground markets. Apart from imperial crystal harvesting, the town is famous for its resident crystalmancers, ever delving into the secrets of Colaris. Interesting. The Blind Jacra is the busiest tavern in town. Candake the district is where we need to take Levantius, and then general inquiries. Let's go to the factions real quick and turn both of these in for pretty good payday. 20 silver from essentially nothing is awesome. And I'm gonna upgrade Gorgoro first while we're here. So let's give him upgrade, and we want to give him guard captain for sure. Oh, he needs more perceptive. He needs perceptive 2. Wow. All right. Well, we got to give him those 2, then guard captain. Good to know. And then we only have 1 proficiency left, so let's give it to survival. Might as well help our survival people out when they're out in the wasteland. And now we can make him a deputy. Awesome. That's so good. It does +5 to flee, +10% defense, +5 combat strength, and it opens up the defensive equipment slot and +20 vigilance. Cool. And then we'll get Harvick on slave driver eventually. Because guard captain is already taken, so he can't be both. Cool. So faction stuff is taken. Are there any even available? We could escort for the Church of Oscul back to Torzeg's shelter, or escort for the Church of Sergorod. We could do both at the same time, honestly. I don't see why that would be a problem. And then let's look at the market real quick. We could see, so Torzeg's shelter. Want to compare these two. That one's even. Is there anything that's like high demand in Torzeg's? Crystals, maybe? Like, is that a thing? Just like, it's interesting that it seems like just raw resources seem difficult to buy and then sell for profit just from the market. Although, if we were buying from Torzeg's and hauling it out here, it seems that you could almost buy anything, except maybe dried fruit, it seems, and then sell it for more out in Lumen, or in Arcane, for example. So that's kind of interesting. And maybe that's because Torzeg's is a huge city, so like you get goods there and it's easier, like there's more of them, I don't know. I'm just kind of insinuating things here. So, but we will need more supplies to get back to Torzeg's. But let's first deal with Levantius so we can get that taken care of. Levantius leads you to the underground vaults of Lumen, where his employer resides on a somewhat secluded street. You come to a huge bolted door to which a piece of parchment is fastened. Enter at your own peril. That's what I get for keeping the undesirables away. Oh wait, that's just for... Sorry. That's just for keeping the undesirables away, Levantius explains as he quickly pushes a few hidden panels and opens the door. Mistress Candake entertains herself with some rather unorthodox experiments, true, but the greatest danger here is the harrowing effect of extraordinary messiness might have on more organized minds. You'll see. As you soon step inside, you see that he was right. The interior of the vast workshop is a veritable labyrinth of scrolls, books, slates, shelves, chests, workbenches, alembics, minerals, unidentifiable tools, and other apparatus. Amidst astrolabes and braziers on chains, a complete skeleton of what must have been a Krawag hangs from the ceiling. A prominently placed display stand is full of reptilian bones and scales of various sizes and colors. Drawing boards feature sketches of leathery wings, claws, fangs, vertebrae, skulls, and other anatomical parts. There's no doubt about that. Dragons. Of dragons. This person's wild. You almost jump when suddenly, from amidst the chaos, a thin ghost-like apparition emerges, passes by you. It's a pale middle-aged woman, not unpreprocessing in her strangeness, dressed wholly in white with short hair of the same color. Levantius, are you home? She asks in a high sing-song voice. Levantius, are you home? That's terrible. Without looking at either of you or stopping for even a moment. That would be Mistress Candake, says Levantius with resignation. Levantius matches her steps and signals you to come along. An accurate observation as always, Domina, he sputters. I would supplement it, if I may, with the addendum that I am, in fact, 2 months early, thanks to our highly esteemed contacts at the Magistratum of Tax Collection. Not that I'd presume to bog you down with such minute details. I just thought it would be in order to inform you. Good work, Levantius! Good work! Candake replies with opening a drawer and examining its contents with a frown. And our guests, also from the Magistratum? This is gonna make me lose my voice. Hopefully this is the last we hear of her forever. You didn't think she even noticed you. Levantius clears his throat. No, Domina, he says. This here is the wayfarer who was kind enough to escort me from Arcane. Candake nods and hums. Levantius clears his throat again. For a fee, as is usual, he adds pointedly. Oh yes, quite, the mistress says, opening another drawer and offering a bulging pouch heavy with coin in your general direction. Nice of you to bring Levantius back. He is so lost sometimes. I wonder how he'll manage when we're finally out there. You can tell Levantius had ample time to practice how to keep his composure. We got 3 Lurg. Cool. Good that you mention it, Domina, he smiles politely. It occurred to me while traveling with our new friend here, inept as I am, it would be feasible to seek further assistance in our endeavors, for which a possible candidate is practically right at hand. Oh no! If we take him along, we have to talk like her. Candake regards the two of you with beady eyes. You mean to suggest to hire the Vagrus, she asks? Levantius smiles even more politely. That was indeed the gist of my words, Domina. Candake gives this a thought, and then shrugs. Of course, why not? Then she turns to you, though her gaze is directed somewhere behind your back. Do you seek employment? I have coin. Weighing the pouch she gave you is as if it was nothing. You have no doubt of that. I do. Or what kind of employment? Well, what kind of employment? At first, Candake doesn't seem to understand the question, as if it was baffling to her that somebody possibly couldn't know what her work consists of. Then the realities of the situation dawn on her. Oh yes, good question. The sign of a keen mind, she says. Very important in our line of work, about which I am currently not in the position to disclose too much. It's still in the planning phase, you see, but let's just say I'm planning on expedition to one of the more inhospitable corners of our realms, for which I'll need supplies, equipment, and a few other things, some of which are not so easy to come by, and a trusty Levantius can only do so much. Levantius' smile seems to be glued to his face, but he shifts his eyes erratically. So, Candake continues, are you interested in fetching me a few things as I make my plans and the need arises? For coin? I am. I don't get a choice. I have to do this voice forever. Wonderful, Candake says with a radiant smile. I'm looking forward to working with you. With that, she turns away and disappears quickly in the maze that is her workshop. Thank God. You give Levantius a quizzical look. I know, he shrugs. The mistress tends to be preoccupied with less worldly matters, but don't let that deter you. She is brilliant, otherwise I would not suffer her whimsies, and wealthy. That, of course, is also an important factor. As for your work, right now we are in a bit of disarray, but if you return sometime later, we will surely have some errands for you to run. If I can get her to focus, that is. Leaving the strange workshop, you can't help but wonder what you've gotten yourself into. That's wonderful. Well, I think what we could do is go take these 2 jobs. Take. And then bring those 2 people back to... Oops, wrong map. Back to Torzag's shelter. If there's stuff to take back to Lumen, great. But I'm thinking what we could do is we could just load up on, like, the best sellable between Torzag's and Lumen, and just make a generalized supply run if nobody's willing to give us like a job to take to Lumen. So we'll let them deal for now. Let's see, how far away was Torzag's? I should have been paying attention. I know about my job. 5 to 7 days of travel. Okay, we have how much in the way of supplies? We have 4 days, so let's get some more. Always good to have a little bit of padding there. The factions, I think we took all the factions things that we could get. Yes, cool. The Manzio, we should exchange for some news, get some money for that. And then, based on this guy, it doesn't look like buying anything here and trying to sell it in Torzags is a good idea. Because buying here, selling there, everything looks like it's higher here than in Torzags. Ooh, mushroom beer is almost like... That's a pretty good price difference. We'll have to reevaluate when we get there and then back here, but yeah, buying everything here and then selling it there just seems like it would not work out. Unless, like, is there crystals here? There is Solaris crystal. Used for both arcane and mundane crafting. We do have 11 silver. How many is a stack? 30? How much would that cost? We can only buy 14 and that's all our money? Ah, man. I wish I knew if they wanted it in Torzags or not. It's kind of interesting. I'm guessing it's because there was none for sale there, which maybe means that it's valuable to buy here and then sell in Torzags. What if we do just like a little stack? Just to wet our beaks, so to say. 5. Let's do 5. We bought 5. We have 2 people in tow. Any equipment for sale that I'd like? Blinders and combat saddles. What does that do? Chase, outrider combat, outrider defense, protection gear. Protect you. Well, we're not going into the Calaris, so we don't have to worry about that. Skewers are for beasts. Hunting animals. Chase, combat strength. We haven't gotten into any kerfuffles yet, so I'm not really sure if it makes sense to buy any of that stuff. So we do want to get another scout, so 3 scouts to be had, and then let's quick rest while we're here. Does this make sense? How's our morale? Morale is fervent. Vigor is at max. Nutrition is the only thing down, but we could just up our consumption, and we have a bunch of extra supplies to get nutrition up a little bit, and then we'll just send our dudes out for odd jobs and see if they make any money. Fail. We lost vigor. Great. You guys suck so bad. We did get a little money out of it, but at least our vigor was at max, so you know, losing a little bit of it's not the end of the world. All right, let's get on the way. Oh, whoops, wrong thing here. Let's get underway here, and let's beeline for Arceus Quarry and then head over to Torzags. I think we'll try to get to the quarry. Yeah, not too far away actually. Uh-oh. Even though you have expected an attack because of your wards, the adversary appears suddenly and the attack is imminent. Spears raise, hooves shattering the earth. The Kalrish ride to battle. Oh crap! They're after my escort, or the person I'm escorting. Yikes! Kalrish Wanderers, we have more attack ability than the people that are attacking us. So let's attempt to defeat them. Yes, we've already learned about this. High chance of success is good. I got 4 dudes, or 4 different units. You need to select your goal for the fight. Your options are often limited. Well, we should protect our guy. Although it doesn't seem that's an option. So maybe just equally? Crew combat? Yep, we did do this at one point. So we want to have everybody involved. We have a 57% chance to succeed. So, or 60% chance to succeed. So cross your fingers. Youch! They already knocked my dude out of the battle? We're down to 57% chance. Enemies' attributes are Slayer and Fast. Shoot. Well, I mean, it's the best option. Did you die? Holy crap! Pursue the enemy? Then stand down. Your crew tends to the wounded in the heal phase, rolling for recovery of each unit by 1. Wounded units can only be healed with a critical success. Every healing attempt has a chance to consume a medical kit. Well, if he died, we should probably go back to the city and, Are you okay? Killed or wounded? Are you dead? How do I tell? Move on? What the heck? What even happened there? Are you alive? How do I tell? Companions. 3 out of 15? Oh, you are alive. Okay, cool. Well, that could have gone better. Harvick lost loyalty. We failed the task with the Church of Awhile. Darn. Oh, maybe it was because we didn't pursue them. Okay. Well, lesson learned. Let's upgrade our movement. And then we will go south. And then we will pause there. Cool. Well, that could have gone better. I didn't realize we'd be getting attacked by raiders, but, you know, live and learn. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a like. If you have tips for what on earth just happened, feel free to give me comments in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Any tips and pointers, because sometimes the tutorials and things are dense in here, and my eyes glaze over. So if there's any like quick tips for like do this to make combat easier, or you clearly did this wrong, I do not mind those comments. They are generally very helpful for me. So thanks again once for watching. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more videos, do follow the channel, subscribe to the channel to see more, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye everybody. Bye.